Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Lessons and Legacies. I am your host, Melissa Price, and this happens to be episode 33. I can't believe I've got this many under my belt so far. And this is round two. This is just the first one that I've actually decided to record and post and make podcasts and all that good stuff out of. But yes, episode 33. You guys know how much I like to do the number bit, right? Hold on, I'm going to take a minute here and share just so this is out there. If you guys are just tuning in, please do the same. Like, share, get it out there. So yes, anyways, the number thing, numerology. If anybody doesn't know about numerology, you take a number, you break it down to a single digit, and each single digit has its own particular meaning. And then there are certain double digits that also are considered power numbers, and they have their own thing, but that's like if you really want to dive into it. But anyways, today is episode 33. Threes just in themselves are a trinity. That number's been coming up a lot lately. Not just for me, but for a lot of other people. So there's a double three situation here. And then 3 plus 3 equals 6. I learned actually not too many episodes ago something about 6. 6 gets a bad rap because it's associated with the devil. But ironically enough, when I actually dug in and did a little bit of research, 6 is a number that is, it's the number that is most highly associated with nature, which is my happy place. You guys know me. If you've been following me, if you're friends with me on Facebook, if you watch any of these videos, you know I am a nature freak. I love the mountains. I love trees. I love plants, bugs, animals. I hand feed my deer and raccoon in my backyard. There's many people out there on this thread, I'm sure, that will raise their hand and be like, I've seen her do it for real. And you can check my Facebook page out. There's videos of it. I'm just telling you. I have that animal whisper. I've got one special tree out back. I talk to all my trees, but like there's one special tree. I have a great green thumb. I respect all the beautiful details of nature. And ironically enough, I had no idea that 6 was the number that is most highly presented in nature. You guys should do a little Google Magic research on that, how 6 correlates with nature. They went into all kinds of things, like there's 6 leaves or petals on tomato plants and flowers and these things, and 6 little stems on snowflake crystals, and like all these. It was a whole list of just insane ways that the 6 appears in nature. And again, since I'm a nature person, I felt like, ooh, what an interesting episode this should be. Now, speaking about today's episode, you'll notice this is the first episode I've ever posted where I don't have the topic scrolling in the bottom. Oh, nor was it posted on Facebook. I will stick some like, comment, share, and subscribe in there, though, because everybody should do that. Sharing is caring. Lessons and Legacies is on YouTube. It's on Spotify. It's on Facebook Live. A like, a share, a comment, your feedback, participate. All of it matters, okay? But so today, I had this whole thing planned out for today's show. Today was going to be a solo episode for me. Usually on my solo episodes, I've got some music going in the background. I read from my book. I chitty chat with you guys. But yeah, that all went out the window pretty quick today. Let's see who's joining. Hey, Yvette, good to see you. Hope you're doing all right. Not happy with someone who called me 24/7 and called them. Oh, that's crazy. I hope that works out. We'll say a prayer for you. Definitely block that number, I say. So I'll just rewind a little bit till yesterday. Yesterday, I had a very normal dinner with my husband. We made these spicy chicken Caesar salads that we do and some garlic bread. He ate it, I ate it. And for whatever reason, I was the only one that woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning with like childbirth labor pains in my stomach. I was up. I'm still having them. Like, this has been almost like food poisoning, except, not so messy, like nothing's really coming out kind of thing, like you would think, for a food poisoning sort of situation. I feel fine, but I've been dealing with these extreme total crampy pains in my stomach for the last couple days. I've been out of whack. I woke up this morning after my first 24 hours of this at like 3 a.m. And my ankle, I have a busted ankle. I busted it a couple years ago. And sometimes, depending on the way I lay, or if it happens to be cold and in the winter, that spot gets really sore again, almost like arthritis. Anybody who's had an injury or a surgery, Yvette, I'm sure you can relate to this. You have some kind of injury like that, and if it has to do with like your ligaments or bones, a lot of times that doesn't go away. If the weather gets bad, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel that pain for the rest of your life from here and there. Maybe not consistently, but you're going to have bouts of it, right? Well, my ankle has been bugging me lately, and I woke up at 3 o'clock this morning, and, like I had my ankles just like my wrists are, just totally like the bones right on top of each other there, And all I did was slightly shift my foot so that the arch of my foot was supporting the top and ankle of my other foot, and it fit perfectly like a puzzle. And for whatever reason, at 3:30 a.m, that woke me up, and I had to pray. I started wondering again. You can't doubt that this is God and Holy Spirit coming to you when these things happen to creep in your mind at 3:30 a.m. for the most peculiar of reasons. I had cupped my feet together in such a way that it was comfortable, and I instantly got awake and said, "Huh. I wonder why God made us the way he did. Why do we get two of everything? We have two eyes. We have two hands that fold perfectly together. They shake. They grasp. So many things we can do with our two hands, right? I was so grateful this morning for the way that my feet were able to just hold each other in such a way that my pain was able to go away. We have 2 feet for walking. I mean, listen, I'm going to be real with you. We have 2 butt cheeks for sitting comfortably on. What else is the cheeks for? God wants us to be comfortable, right? We have 2 ears for hearing on both sides, 2 arms, 2 legs. I wonder, why did we get 2 of everything? 2 is a number of balance, duality, as you know. But I don't know. I started praying pretty fervently this morning in bed and was like, thank you, God, for creating us the way that you did. Thank you for giving us, like, can you imagine? I mean, a 2-arm hug feels so much better than a 1-arm hug. The way we embrace, our vision's better, our hearing's better. I don't know. God did us pretty well by giving us 2 of everything. I'm just saying. Even here, I'll even go an extra, because you guys know I don't ever hold back. For us mothers out there, we have 2 breasts. What happens when you're breastfeeding? One of them gets tired and runs thin. We got a backup, right? We have the choice and the ability to switch back and forth when things wear out. I'm a big leaner. I lean to one side or the other, and I can feel my hips getting tired on one side. So I go to the other. God did us really, really good by creating 2 of everything, right? Duality, balance. So yeah, I woke up praying in gratitude for that this morning. And then I went back to bed probably around 4:30. And I caught my morning show with William Brown, Happy Today. And his message was pretty awesome. We had some talkings going on late last night about numbers again, which 3 was one of them that showed up today. And his message really kind of hit home with what I woke up and was praying about this morning. And then a whole multitude of events ensued after that. So before I get going on that, I have to let you guys know this is totally unscripted. Again, I already said I threw my idea out the window for today's show based on some of these things, and you're about to hear even more craziness. And so I had to do like a 5-minute notice dial to, none other than my soul doctor, best friend, sister in life, Precious Pauling. I was like, girl, I know I'm giving you like 7 minutes notice, but can you come on? There's 2 poems out of your book that totally correlate with what ensued after what I just told you guys, which she doesn't even know about yet either. And so she has said, give me 15 minutes. That's why we're starting a little bit later, because this is all divinely planned, not by me. My own understanding of life just went out the window. So she was gracious enough to come on here. I'm going to welcome her in and then fill you guys in on what happened. And then I need for her to put her soul and her words into this day for me and for all of you. So I see she just popped in. Let me add her in. Oh, hey.
Making sure I'm straight. Like
you look beautiful. You look so good. I was saying as soon as I got on, I was like, man, I should have brushed my hair. I got ready like really early this morning.
Oh, did you?
Reasons, and so yeah, I'm like 6 hours old here. You're looking fresh. You're looking fresh.
I'm like 5 minutes old.
Yes, you're always fresh. Where are you coming from? And thank you so much for being here.
I am coming from, I'm working on I'm doing my photo shoot for my soul doctor.
Your flyers, your promo.
Yeah. My soul doctor launch. Also, I'm about to go exclusively on my YouTube channel. And so doing all of my, I guess, flyers and stuff for my launch. So I'm doing pictures, and because I'm going to have Monday through Friday programming on my I Choose Me channel. And so one of the days I'm so excited that I'm going to have when Queens collaborate, which will be you, me, Nakia, and Lala. And so that dream coming into fruition, that'll be Wednesday night shows where we just come and everybody in their lane. On Tuesdays is going to be Chef Ron Presents One Bite with the Paulins. So every Tuesday we'll cook in the kitchen, family style. So I'm super excited. So I am dressed up because I'm got some stuff, some pictures that I'm doing to get my programming all together.
I have to put a request in for one of those Chef Ron nights. I want to see the egg roll buffet, for the love of God. The first time I heard about that was like probably a year ago, and I've still yet to see it happen. I want to be there. Actually, I need to partake in the egg roll buffet.
Yeah, that was one of our first One Bite with the Paulin shows. I think in the very beginning we did sushi one night, and then we did egg rolls one night, and oh my goodness, it was so much fun. So yeah, we try to find creative ways for us to eat.
Yvette says you're making me hungry. Yes. Carolyn, what's going on? She says, I miss hugging. I'm a hugger. Okay, so listen. This is so impromptu. Like I texted you 20 minutes ago. Hey, I need you to read. So I already filled everybody in kind of in the beginning.
Okay.
I've been crazy stomach pains for the last couple days, and so I've been a little out of whack. I went to bed earlier last night in an effort. I had something bad to eat. I had really habanero spicy cheese on a Caesar salad that I don't normally do. And I think my stomach is, like, as I get older, getting sensitive to super spicy stuff, which I like in my mouth, but my stomach probably doesn't. So I was catching up from sleep from the night before last night, and I was woke up at 3:30 this morning with
an hour.
And another ailment, which you need to know about too. I have busted my foot, like my ankle. I tore a ligament in my ankle. Super silly. It wasn't even a fall. I was dancing and stepped the wrong way. And this was just like 3-4 years ago, but it's a ligament thing. And so like when the weather gets wonky, whether it's like the pressure and the air drops or it gets really cold, sometimes it'll flare up and get sore, like arthritis. So I woke up at 3:30 in the morning this morning with the ankle pain, and just like I'm laying there, and then all of a sudden my ankles started hurting, and my ankles were like this. So like where your wrist bones kind of join like that, that's where my ankle bones were. And all I did was a slight movement, and I slid my foot on like into the arch, the top of my one foot into the arch of my other foot. And like all the pain melted away. And for whatever reason that shot me awake, I felt like I was able to hold myself. And something just woke me up in so much gratitude. And I'm like, why did God give us two of everything? Why do we have hands to shake and fold when we pray? Why do we have two eyes? Why do we have two ears? Why is there so much like the balance? And like, I just was filled with gratitude, and I started fervently praying in bed, laying there, like with the gratitude that my foot was able to hold the other foot, and thinking like, I mentioned earlier, I'm like, God is so good that he gave us two butt cheeks to sit on. What are they for? They're for comfort. He wants our comfort. You know what I'm saying?
I just go, and all I hear as you're speaking is the word is when two touch and agree.
And I said this is going to come up. This is part of this. This is part of why I called you on today. So I prayed for almost an hour, went back to sleep at 4:30, and I see everybody's popping in there. I know we're praying for you. We're praying for you, Yvette. I know we saw your post on the Facebook about your knee and your manager. We're praying everything works out good for you. So I went back to sleep, and then I got on to Bill's Happy Today show this morning, and he was talking about, he asked me last night, you got to come into this one too. He asked me to break down the number significance of today's date for him. And I'll send you like all the details later. And I'll screenshot you the message because you'll be like, what? But basically, it all boiled down to 7. And I was like, it's the number of completion, Bill, blah, blah, blah. And it was 7.
That's my number.
It was 7s and 3s. I know. I was like, Precious will tell you it's the number.
I'm 7. Rondell is 33.
But by way of 3 and Trinity. It was crazy. Basically, here, let me just do this because this might blow some people's minds. This will blow your mind. He asked me, break down the date 1-21-21. And I'm like, okay, well, the number 1 represents God and the universe. And that's the first thing heading up the whole date. 1. Okay. So just keep that number way up at the top. 1. 1 oversees it all. Bye-bye 1. 1's there. We addressed it. Okay. The number 21 is special. 2 + 1 is 3. Okay. Right. 3 is a Trinity. 3 is the Trinity. Harmony, but it's special. Okay. Okay. So then the only way to get to the 21, which is the next number, the 21s, the 2 pairs of 21s there, they boil down to 3. The only way to get to that 21 is by 7. Okay. Wait, 7 is divine. 7 is the number of completion. God created the world in 7 days. Check this out. You add 1-21-21. What does that equal? 7. I'm like, oh, Bill. I'm like, what are you about to do tomorrow? Why are you asking me? What's the significance of the date? And so he was planning on launching his new thing today and blah, blah, blah. Then he pulled his cards this morning. His 3 cards he pulled this morning were follow your dreams, something about love and be patient. And then his single one I am card that he pulled was blank. And I said, by way of that Trinity of following your dreams, leading with love and being patient, that I am blank card at the top should be completion. That's what you've always been gunning for. There's your 7. And I said, today is the day you got to commit, because that's the date, you know.
And today is my goddaughter. You know her well, Sierra Dixon. Today's her birthday. So happy 22nd birthday to Sierra. If you catch this,
oh,
22 years ago, honey. She came
22
into,
is a good year. 22. And Sierra, yep, Sierra Dixon.
First ever godchild. Shout out to Nakia. She gave me my first ever god baby.
Hey, Brittany. Hey, Brittany. Yes, Sierra has done, she's done illustrations for my book. She's done your book. She's amazingly talented and so amazing.
Oh, let me show you my t-shirt.
Show us. Show us. What's going on, Brittany? Brittany. See, all right, show it closer, a little closer. CMP. We got Cash Money Paulins. I love it. There it is.
Yeah. Sierra created for our family tree for your book. So I put it on it. Isn't that cute?
That's
so
a Sierra Dixon original.
Kids with this.
I love you too, Carolyn. So
hey, Carolyn, love you back.
Yes. All right. So listen. Okay. So after that all happened, I was like, ooh. Not only did I wake up unusually early this morning in prayer for such gratitude with the way my feet folded, and then I got in my mind into this whole quest of why did God give us all doubles of everything? And then I started praying, and then I went back to sleep, and then Bill's message happened, and it totally related to what we talked about last night. I was like, oh God, I hear you. You're doing it. You're doing it. Right. So another thing that happened to me yesterday, which totally flows into why you're here today. I had some new friend requests on the face space, right? One such person, and usually, here's the thing, just ride with me here. I never ever accept friend requests, people that I have no mutual contact with, because I have been hacked multiple times. I have been fished and taken advantage of way too many times. So I am a very cautious person when it comes to this stuff. But this person, I always, whoever it is, I still always go click on their profile. I'm like, who are you? Who's coming to me? Are these entrepreneurs?
I always do that first.
I want to know what I'm drawing in, you know, even if I don't friend you, I'm like, what am I drawing in? What am I pulling in?
Right.
You know? This kid looked all right. And I was like, oh, and he's a preacher. Cool. All right. Because the God and the Holy Spirit was moving, I went, click. Okay. 5 minutes later, he reaches out. Hello. Are you having a blessed day? I was like, I am. And are you? Waiting for some like pickup line or whatever is about to follow. Are you really a preacher? Was what was going in my mind. And a conversation ensued that literally lasted from the time that it started in the morning all the way till this afternoon, nonstop. We learned a lot about each other, and I thought it was cool. I had no idea where he was from until we were right about to get off, you know, for the day, get off the conversation. And I said, I asked, I was like, well, I would love to have you on my show and have you talk about faith. He's a minister, you know, he's a preacher. He's younger. And speaking to him today, and I asked how old he is, he said almost 30. So I'm guessing that's almost 30. But he's from Nigeria. And I was like, we've been talking all day and it didn't even dawn on me. I was like, well, that's interesting. And for whatever reason, he had sent me, as we were getting off the phone, a GIF, and it came across in another language. And I thought to ask, I was like, out of curiosity, do you speak English, or does Facebook translate between us? Is this like a new tech?
Are you frozen? It looks like Melissa froze on us. I know she'll be back.
Here I am.
Okay, here you back.
You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. So yeah, he's like, I speak English really good. And he started telling
Uh-oh.
Here we gonna go. The airplanes be flying again.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right. No, God doesn't want this to happen. Or not God. The devil don't want this to happen because you're about to be reading on this person. So I got distracted by the airplane. See, needless to say, I was like, Facebook didn't matter. We actually ended up having a really good similar heart, and we connected on StreamYard today on this link, and it was like, yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. He was like, do you want to verify that
Must be another plane, y'all.
I know. I'm waiting. I pause. I'm pausing. Wait, I'm not pausing. Y'all are gonna lose out on nothing. This message will get out. He he wanted me to verify that he wasn't crazy. And the first thing he asked me to do was to check out his ministry. He's a preacher on YouTube. I'm like, freaks don't usually come out and be like, I'm a preacher. Will you please follow my ministry? Here's all our videos. I was like, I feel all right with you. You're not going to come and get me through the webcam. It's all good. So today we connected and I got to speak face to face. It was really cool. And I have to say, it ended after almost a half hour in this amazing prayer. He prayed so good. I cried. It was wonderful. The kids even came in and were listening. It was really cool. And to me, this experience, because I took a chance in a way that I don't ever do. I'm like, I have no similar contacts with you. But for whatever reason, we ended up connecting over 24 hours face to face today from halfway around the freaking world over faith, over the same mission you have, Precious, the same mission I have. He's got the same one. You want people to flip their switches and light up this world. That's what he wants too. That's what I want. I want people to see that their stories matter, their experiences matter, and there's a blessing in every lesson. You know, he wants to preach the gospel and bring people to that light and truth. And I was just like, I woke up this morning not expecting any of that. Wow. And so I just feel like this was totally divinely led. Everything was happening very spur of the moment. And it led me to 2 poems that you have in your book. I was so inspired. I actually, after I got off the show, Bill's Happy Today show this morning, I have a shell of a poem that it was one of those 15-minute just look up poems kind of thing that came over me. And I got it all written on bright yellow cardstock paper and pencil all scribbled everywhere. I'm gonna be working on that. That came out of me after Bill's show this morning. And today, after speaking with my friend from Nigeria, Gideon is his name, what came out of me was your 2 poems from your book. So I would love, first of all, your feedback on the situation. And then if you would mind reading 1 or 2 of them, if not both, what you think about all this. I'm just like spirit everywhere.
Well, you know, I was going to say, like, you know, also, I mean, that's what I guess the social media is all about. I see it as God's omnipresence, you know, because he can be everywhere at the same time. And the intention of what you give is the presence or the light that you shine. Right. So, like, even, you know, I feel in the whole point of your show is to introduce yourself to new people. It is to be open. It is to create the big picture of God, which is everybody has a piece. And that we got our negative and our positive in the world. But if we allow ourselves to be stuck by the negative people who may come in and, you know, we're afraid
coming back.
Fear now on social media that perhaps we'll get locked down.
See, spirit,
or somebody will do this. And so I think the whole idea is that we recognize that we control the energy in which we share, and that at any given time we can cut it off. And so we got to be in relationship with ourselves so we can open up the gate, so that we can meet new people, so that we can be open to learn from the last mistake, so we don't get stuck where we don't give anybody else an opportunity to walk through the door. Because imagine if every time somebody hurt us, we close the door, where we would be. We would be nowhere. We would be all alone with no new relationships, no new experiences, or no new identity. So I love the fact that, like you said, in spite of all, the different times that you have been taken about, the different times that it didn't work out for your benefit, you still opened up the door. And I think that's what God wants us to know, that life will always teach us a lesson, but it is not about what you go through. It's about what you grow through. And is that you don't allow it to stop you from being who you are. And you are the person that wants to reach out to people. You are the person that wants to connect. And we all have a universal gift. And I think it's everybody's gift. Like what you're saying, to turn on somebody else's light. The reason why I say is everybody's assignment is because God sent us all to be a solution, which is why I say if you solve for X, there will never be a problem in which you can't figure out how you apply yourself to it to make it better. Because in solving for X, you understand the value of what you bring to any equation. And so life is about doing that personal work, that I choose me work, so that when the problems arise, we understand what is the X factor that is me, that if I add to the equation, I can increase the value or the sum of what it adds up to be. And that's what it is all about, us being in alignment for our assignment, so that the value that is X, which is us, can always increase whatever somebody else have a problem in, And so that's how I just see it.
And it blows my mind how we find each other, like how you and I came to pass. And this, again, it blows my mind right now because all right, listen, when I was in grade school, we used to, and even in high school too, when I was doing foreign language and stuff, when I was taking French, you would pen pal with somebody from a different country. And every 2 weeks, you guys would get a letter if you were lucky every week. I'm I literally just boop, I can talk to you all the way around the world.
Yeah.
That's the first time that's ever happened. I do have people on social media that I chitty chat with, but to be able to see you and actually have a conversation with you, I'm did that just happen? That's I don't have to fly there for that to happen. And that is a goal. That has been a goal for me for the longest time. My husband has friends in Africa that they have a nonprofit down there we want to go and do missionary work with as soon as the kids are a little bit older. It's been on our bucket list for the last few years. But
the boys wanted to go to Africa for their 12th birthday, so they'll be 12 in
Hey.
Please, like 5. I know it was 6 years ago. He said, when I turn 12, I want us to go on a trip to Africa. And I'm like, 12?
We want
them. We gotta kick up the speed because they'll be 12 this year. Time flies when you're sitting there playing.
Oh my gosh. I know. I want to take the kids too. That's why we're waiting for them to be of age. Nate and I have wanted to do this for 4 years now. And we should make it a masterpiece Africa safari trip kind of thing. An Africa mission. And we can all go. I want my kids to go very much. And I just want them to be able to be an active part of it and to remember it, to take it all in. And I didn't want them to be so young where it would be lost, And I just, it's just always been a place I want to go. But I don't know. So I've got your
so which you said page which?
So here.
So your impression thoughts from the soul you were reading?
Yep. I had 2 that came out, and I would like to dedicate them from me, although written by you, to this person that I got to meet today from Nigeria. His name is Gideon Desmond, and he is a preacher, just under 30. He is got a mission to travel the world and just preach the gospel and light it up. He reminds me of somebody that would be one of your offspring, Precious, or your younger cousin or something like that. He's got so much of you in him. And I told him already, I was like, man, I'm going to have my girl Precious come on one of these times. He was
Listen,
asking,
that is so funny that people always connect me. We had our my family, we're a large family on my mom's side. So we on both my mom and my dad's side, but we did like a check-in, a wellness check-in. And so I want you to understand that my mom, there are 9 siblings.
Ugh.
My mom is the
So many.
the 8th one out of the 9. And so we're the bottom of the totem pole. And my mom had 7 kids and I have 5. So you could imagine that Zoom call with, and praise God, all 8 of them are alive and all of their kids. And so all of my first cousins and kids and great grandkids, we were all on the Zoom. And what I realized in that moment is that we all have those, when I say it's not in your DNA, it's in your CNA, but that your DNA makes up who you are. That thing, that gifting, they say your gift will make room for you. Well, I will go a step further. I would say your thoughts make room for you, because once you have that gift and you implement some thoughts, that is the faith that you turn into works that makes room for who you were created to be. But when I thought about us on that, it was so hilarious because at the end, everybody had an opportunity to speak. But after I speak, one of my cousins was like, Precious, I don't know why you just don't go be a preacher. I said, listen, y'all can say teacher, but not preacher. She is the prophetic evangelist, Precious, because where I go, I want no walls, floors, or ceilings. So I don't need a building, but I think we all are meant to minister. We all were meant to bring the light. And so while some, I guess, touch the soul different than others, that all of us have a special God piece that was meant to resurrect the spirit of who is here. So I think that's what we all have. It's just different.
And seriously, it's possible to touch the world these days. Again, the internet for so long, Precious, I know it's your thing. Like the internet is omnipresent. It's like God almost. It's everywhere all the time. Mm-hmm. I never admit, the internet got so much flack when I was growing up. I mean, we're not that far apart. You got to remember, as the internet was coming out, it was kind of like evil for a while, right?
Because people don't know, that's a problem with the world.
What are you using it for, right?
We're not able to change. We have a problem with passing the baton.
Right.
That's the problem. Because if God said to renew your mind and then the kids were born, I have a 2-year-old nephew who can go on this thing and treat it like he could teach me about the phone, because his mindset was born for this world. And we're so busy trying to structure them into where we came instead of allowing them to show up in their light and give a new world. So we got to adapt and learn from them, just as we have taught them. And so it's like you age out. And so the way you did it is now different. It's a whole new generation. And instead of being jealous, like, oh, they don't have to work as hard as us, people are becoming stars overnight. It sounds like hateration to me.
That's not it. You still got to put yourself out there.
Yes,
you still got to show up.
Nobody honors that these young kids are getting on YouTube. Nobody honors that they are finding things to talk about. Nobody honors that they're getting paid by dreaming of a dream that they've never seen. We should be celebrating how they are making it simpler. They think that it makes sense to work for 100 years on a job to never see your worth. They are knocking out the park of solving for X and getting value. We are dying, owing people. We're having to do all these other things that our kids won't have to do because of the access that they have. And while you got negative and positive, it doesn't matter. In our generation, there were negative people that were doing stuff negative with what they knew. And then there were people who were doing positive with what they knew. So it's about how are you implementing what it is that you have in order to increase your territory. Don't hate on them. Find out, how do I multiply myself? That's a multiplication. He said, if one can bring 1,000 and 2 can bring 10,000, what happens when you have 100 views? That means God allowed you to infect somebody, 100 different people in an hour. And we do not understand the power and what we have at our fingertips. We don't need to on it. We need to learn how to incorporate it into multiplying what we are.
Master it. We got to master it.
Master it.
Tell, was that trouble back there, Rayvon? I just saw somebody peeping in. I tried to wave.
I don't even know if that was Ray or Big.
It was Big Man and Ray.
That's Ray. That's Ray.
Hey, I knew it was trouble. I saw that little like half cheesy grin over there, like, I'm about to go make some trouble. All right. Since we're running out of time.
Okay, let's go. Where we at?
Would you do the man after God's own heart?
The man after God's own
That's
heart.
page 58.
58.
All right. And so I know you have a special, this went out to a pastor friend of yours, right?
Yes.
And so I would like to ask you to share about that before you read it. And this I dedicate to my new friend, who's a pastor preacher, even younger than myself, in Nigeria, Gideon Desmond. Tell us about why you wrote
this was some years ago when I relocated. This is not actually my pastor. I got a poem about him in here too. But when I relocated, and I met
that was probably the other one I picked, I bet. Page 50.
What was the other one you picked?
48, I think. It was a birth of a pastor or something like that. It was page 46. Pastor, awesome birth.
Pastor's often awesome birth. Yes.
Was that the one?
Yes. On page, you said 46?
Yep. So it was 46 and 58 were the two that I picked today. So
yes, that's right. So, okay. So we'll do a man after God's own heart. And I'll read it and then I'll tell you a little more.
Okay. I'm going to post. If you guys are interested, by the way, visit or contact her at preciouspauling.com. You can she has many amazing books. I happen to own them all, multiple copies of them all, actually. Visit preciouspauling.com. She's got way more than books too.
Way more than books. Games, we have calendars, we have programs,
coaching,
clothes, could be yours for only $30, including shipping and handling.
That's right.
Got the logo on the back. Can you see?
I see. It's bling. It's hard not to see.
It's hard not to see because you got to make your shine picture clear. That's how I choose me Bling Boutique.
And she's a coach and she does consultations. She's a doctor, a soul doctor.
Which means I clean out the viruses in your heart.
That's right.
Okay, so here we go. A man after God's own heart. A man after God's own heart is not reaching for his hand. He is willing to go through the steps it takes to be a spiritual man. A man after God's own heart will have a past that others don't deem so good. But who else would God use that have been there and done that and can show us that we could get through anything as long as we keep our eyes stayed on thee, that once was blind until he proved to God that he was ready to see. A man after God's own heart can still feed us even when he didn't eat, because God will continue to pour into him when he humbles himself at God's feet. For when a man after God's own heart delivers a word, he gives all he has within, because this is the time when he works the hardest to help deliver us from sin. This man has a presence that can't be described, only felt. For you see, that's the aura you give when you make the best out of the hand you've been dealt. A man after God's own heart is ever changing from day to day, because he knows if the devil is ever to sneak up on him, he will have gone another way. He's strong-willed because God has let him see where he needs him to go. And he knows if he would get aboard, our cup will run with an overflow. A man after God's own heart can't shake his vision no matter how many obstacles come his way.
Amen.
Because you know when you have your hands wrapped up around God's heart, he will get the last say. A man after God's own heart knows his wife is a gift in which to put none above. For when God sent her to his life, he was giving him a sign of his everlasting love. A man after God's own heart can be his authentic self with no need to pretend. For he knows when all is said and done, there's only one person to answer to in the end. He lives his life to the fullest and is humble enough to know it's only by God's amazing grace that he is able to wake up every morning and share that $1 million smile on his face. A man after God's own heart can be described in plenty more ways than this. But I won't take all the fun. I will allow you to make your own premeditated list. The man I'm speaking of with such pride we are honoring here today, I'm sure I'm not alone when I say you feed the spirit of my soul and I am here to stay. And I had dedicated that to Bishop Steve L. Carlton Sr. Like I said, when I had came down with my husband in his church, I no longer attend that church, but I will say that that poem was exactly, I think he had a, we always have the pastor's anniversaries. And so I am the person of the hour. So whether it is for an event for the first lady, so I have first lady poems in here. I have when people lose their loved ones.
Teacher was another one I went on to.
You name it, because I think that is so important to honor people.
Fire, power, love, everything you need. And man, you ever want to light up somebody's day? You call your mom, your sister, your friend, your homeboy. Like, again, I just met this guy I dedicated this to today, and he's halfway across the world. I'm like, Precious, this guy needs to hear this poem. He's a preacher.
I have to share.
Come on, 5 minutes notice. Let's do it.
Listen to this episode. Kelly, thank you, Kelly. Listen, Melissa, I have to share Reverend Dr. Johnny Ray Youngblood. Now, this is my pastor. He's now a bishop now. I grew up under him in New York. I started when I was 12. I found my gift there. He challenged me to basically be able to stand in a room full of people and share every youth Sunday. I know that I am everything I am because they taught entrepreneurship. He taught, celebrating one another. He taught how powerful, how we were kings and queens, prince and princesses. And when I look at all of us that have even gone to different areas, like, one of my close friends, his daughter was actually on, what is the kids were so excited about? What was the movie that came out? He was actually, The Lion King. She was young Nala. So she in the Lion King.
Wow.
One of the I grew up with daughter was young Nala in the Lion King. She was also on the horror where why can't I remember the horror? The kids loved the movie and I cannot remember, but it just feels so good to watch so many people show up that were under his leadership. And that's what it means to show up with your light, because when you infect one person, you're actually infecting millions. People want to be able to stand in the room with millions. When God say, when you can show up for one, and I infect that one person, and that one person touches somebody else. So you think about the years that even at 12, 13, 14, when I was up at the front, maybe doing a poem for the youth to speak at the parents, or even for Million Man March. It didn't matter what was going on, that I was the person that came to put the words to the event, to make it make sense in a prophetic type of way. And so I'm just like, I want to celebrate him, and I want to share this poem because it's called Reverend Dr. Johnny Ray Youngblood.
And you always say, when two or more touch and agree,
it is so.
It is so.
It is so.
All right, let's give honor.
It says, I want to thank you for the role you played early on in my life. You were a breath of fresh air in my time of strife. From you, I found a new understanding of what God could be. And I began to realize that he dwelled in me. Although I was a teenager, your preaching moment was well understood. You gave me a true knowledge of what Jesus shed his blood. I learned from you that Jesus died that I might live. And I also learned what a value it is to give. Under your leadership, I found my gift to write poetry through all my pain. And it meant a lot to me when you acknowledged and spoke my name. You planted a seed in me which through the years have been watered and have grown, because I have found a ministry which speaks to my soul.
Amen.
Whoever knew that God would lead me to a place that feeds me as when I was home? I'm so filled with God's love that I never feel alone. I just want to say I will always love you for the man that you are, for you have led me to my Savior. And I'm so glad that I serve a God who does not condemn us due to our behavior. Once again, I just want to say thank you, for you are the foundation to my humble beginning on my journey featuring Christ. For God has continued to keep me under a spiritual and amazing leader as my gifts continue to blossom in my life. And that was how I ended that. And so it's got me emotional because
you got me emotional too. I'm emotional over here
because when I think about, being molested young and, dealing with, stuff that we as kids, which is why I started my I See Me Academy, mentoring the soul of our child from peer pressure to soul pressure, because there are so many things that we endure as young people that are equipping us to be the adults that God called us to be. He said his will be here on earth as it is in heaven. Yes. And so that he unleashes us to be in the rooms with the people who are to help us find our switch, because we came on assignment. And I think the reason why the world is so broken is because we are competing instead of completing. And we don't understand that somebody is relying on you to show up so that somebody else can see who they are. Because I would not be the queen I am today. I would not be the mom I am today. I would not be the person that you admire, the person that you honor, if somebody didn't see in me what I was holding, what I was carrying, and to remind us of the beauty. So when I look at the inauguration and I look at all that we've been through and I think about the evidence, like you are the evidence, and how you show up beyond your roles and titles, the energy that you carry, the pain that you turn into power, the crucifixion that you allow yourself to resurrect in, is the reason that we get to be who we are called to be. And so when I wear this shirt that says "Fill my cup," it means that until I can fill up on who God called me to be, I will be inauthentic and serving myself to you. And so we got to embrace the people who see us. We got to celebrate the goodness of the world, because it is not white versus black. It is light versus dark. And if everybody would turn on their light, would there be any dark places? Absolutely not, because light and dark cannot coexist. So until we can understand that it doesn't matter who hurt you, it doesn't matter what you've been through, that you have been pre-qualified to take that experience and show up in ways that are designed by you, that God gave you the ability to do. And so I want us to listen to these words and be willing to open ourselves up to somebody who's reaching out, because what good is a platform that we don't use to the honor of light and love in God? So we gotta start changing how we show up in these platforms and make it count and mean and be who we say we are. That's the key. Be who you say you are, because that is the most healthiest thing you can give to the world. Truth, not perfection. Truth in who you are, so that God can perfect the God peace you come to bring.
And woo!
Always a crying moment. But yeah, so I dedicate
this day.
Who I'm becoming, one of those people is definitely Dr. Johnny Way Youngblood, because what he did with us as youth is the world that I'm standing in now. I'm 40 now. So what he did that long ago mattered. It mattered. So what you do today, it matters.
Right.
Up. And
sometimes it takes time.
I'm still showing up. And that is what it means to be in assignment. You do it because it's about God. It's not about who's going to see you, if you're even going to know. It's knowing that you planted a seed that is still growing somewhere else, out of your sight. but God is taking account. So when you say I've been blessed and highly favored, it is because you began to like yourself. So God showed up for who you see yourself as, because he was waiting for you to see yourself anyway. It's been set up that way. And so I'm thrilled. I'm overwhelmed. I'm just grateful for where we are going. And most importantly, that all of this stuff that I took the time to do, still, this book I wrote in 2007, and people still say the poems in this book are still changing their lives. So it never gets old.
Changing them enough where I have to call you with a 5 minutes notice. I'm like, Queen, I need you to read from this book. I mean, I'll do it if you can. I still love you anyway, but I'm like, it's yours. You got to hear what happened today.
Yeah.
You know, she's got words. This is not her only book either.
I don't know, right? There's so many.
Out. She's got many. 365 days, loving yourself to life.
There we go.
Children's book. I've had to clear out my drawer. You're on my bookshelf.
We have the children's book.
Yeah, there you go.
Special Are You There? You're One of a Kind in both girls and boys version. Precious Thoughts from the Soul. We got calendar. Look, this came in today. So you said today is 7. 7 is my completion day. And I ordered this, I think 2 days ago. See it, feel it, have it. It is the master key to manifesting your desires. And I've been telling Rondell that the world needed Joseph. And why was it written by Joseph? So I said, you know what? This is going to help me even more.
So you got a new assignment. I've got mine.
Yes.
Mine came in, like I said, mine came in 5 days after they said it was going to be like, it'll be there tomorrow. I'm like,
and mine, I just ordered it 2 days ago. I'm like, Jesus. Okay.
We have our own side projects. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, listen, I can't thank you enough. And I gotta say thank you to God too.
To God.
Because
well, let me end with this poem.
To God be the glory. I'm just grateful that more people right now are waking up and willing and able to connect. That's the dream I have of everybody connecting, those gaps closing. So today was a beautiful day for me. I am filled with so much power of the Holy Spirit and joy and promise, and I'm ready. Yeah, 2021. That's what I say.
I mean, it's time. It's so time. I wanted to share one piece that's called Your Dream Home is Coming.
Oh, all right. I remember this. I love this one.
Yeah, so many of us, it's in a season where we have been working and waiting and wanting and working and waiting and wanting some more. So I want to share this poem because it just hit my spirit. I'm gonna share it before we let go. And you the one that keep on getting me on, right? I've been missing, but you keep on pulling me back in, Melissa.
You and I, we could do. Anybody need a 5-hour broadcast? Because Precious is gonna be the ones.
So it's called Your Dream Home is Coming. Did you ever stop to think how a dream home came to pass? Did you ever stop to count the steps it took to make it last? For every home started from dirt, no matter how pretty it may be. For everything in life has a foundation you just might not see. We never stop to look at things for what they really are. It's like we are on the ground looking up at a very shiny star. But we never stop to imagine just how hot that star may be, or even take the time to know how hard it works nightly. We just see that sparkling star and want to shine just as bright. But when the opportunity comes, we want to erase ourselves from sight. We never want to start from the bottom and work our way up. We just want everyone to continue to fill our empty cup. But what we must realize is that it's our foundation that makes us strong. For without a foundation, your dream house may look pretty, but it will not stand there very long. So we must embrace every trial and tribulation, for it's the foundation to it all. Because it supplies us with a sturdy beginning, and it will allow you as a person to continue to stand tall. For every beautiful thing you see, you must always remember it started from dirt and the ground. And it took someone's hard work and God to make it look so profound. So before you envy someone's finish, make sure you take into consideration all the time it took and all. Don't be afraid to look at the whole picture, for it's the beginning you shall recall. For every person has their season, for God has us predestined to the end. So it's time you got with God to get your instructions straight from Him. So if you want that beautiful home, it's time for you to prepare yourself for the battle sure to come. And as time goes on, you'll start to appreciate your past. For if it's behind you, that means you won. Continue to keep your eyes stayed on thee with all that you do. And in due time, you will realize that your dream home came through you. I want you to know that if you're dreaming about something, understand that it starts here. Create it, think it, and manifest it, and then start to walk it out. And so your dream home, you have the blueprint. Go ahead and build it. Go ahead and build it.
Oh my goodness. Such a full day.
Perfect.
I feel like today, this was like a whole weekend wrapped in one day today. God's doing his thing, man. 2021 is about to be a ride.
And you know, my day hasn't been good unless I shed a tear. So you know, you got my tear out.
Know. I did a few times today. I'm grateful for it. They were all like
such grateful tears.
Amazing tears, though. Mm-hmm. Yes. Happy, joyful, amazing, grateful tears. Mm-hmm. So
I can honestly say that I have been crying so many tears of gratefulness. Not even that I am exactly or where I see myself being right now, but just the essence of how full and at peace I feel during the transition, during the walking, so I mean, the more you are confident about who you are, oh my goodness, the more grateful you can become and the more you can honor God with those tears. Because I say it's like B12, when you plant that seed, you need water. But goodness, if you can put that what's the name in it, you change your life. So that's what it's about.
We got to be grateful for and this is another chapter that came out of the chapter in your book. We got to be grateful for the people that God places in our lives.
Yeah.
To stir us up and keep us on track and help us light our switches, flip our switches, light our fires, flip our switches, get us moving. God works through all things. And I think we should be very grateful for the people that we have surrounding us. And keep in mind that what you put out there is what you attract back. So, if you seem to be surrounded by negative people, you might want to do a little reflection, a little inner reflection.
Spring cleaning. Are we spring cleaning our relationships like we do in those houses?
Look for the successes in your messes and clean those jars off. Do a little polishing, little Windex spritz. But yeah, put it out there. That's what you get back. And precious, gosh, thank you so much. Today was I'm still kind of reeling on it. The day that it's been, there's been so much spirit moving in through today. And thank you so much for coming on. I needed this.
Thank you for calling me. Thank you because I like to get out of, I'll be so focused and this fills me up. Like every time it makes me more. That's why I say I am so much more full and having showed up in my gift every time than when I do my roles and titles. That's why I say when you take care of you, everything else becomes easier.
It shows.
I'm going to be a better mom. I'm going to be a better wife. I'm going to be a better friend because I feel full. I feel like I am doing what I came to do and everything else is
making a difference. Yeah. Making a difference. Lighten that world up one heart at a time. Right? All right. Well, leave everybody with your final words, Soul Doctor.
Well, as I often like to leave you with, I want you to know that it is your responsibility to turn your heartbeat into a soul beat in order to leave your soul print. Because the fingerprint tells us what you got wrong in this world, but the soul print, it tells us what you got right. And what God got right is you. So it's time for you to actually understand it is a relay race and somebody is relying on you to show up in your light. So remember, you can never turn on anybody else's switch, but you can provide enough light for them to find their switch. So stay lit in this world so somebody can find their way out of the darkness. If you need help finding your way out of the darkness, please reach out to me. You can message me. You can get a soul doctor call. You can find a book that will take you through every single day of guidance, of affirmations. You can find something for your amazing children that can remind them that the world would be missing a piece without them. With Google the suicide rate in our kids right now, and you'll find it's highest than it's ever been. That means there are some suffering in silence that we are not acknowledging. So for all that suffering in silence, I got some tools that will give them the secret healing they need and you need so that we can empower them, influence them, and show them how to fly out of our homes so that we can begin to fly in our dreams. And so whatever you need, I hope you find at PreciousPaulin.com. I Choose Me Bling Boutique, or just a message. You might just need a one-on-one soul coaching session. I got you.
And she does. She really means it. She always does. Like I said, if you're just tuning in, this was like 5 minutes notice. I need you today. And she shows up. She's got you. I trust her.
20 years experience. I'm not a soul doctor. You can call me about anything. I think I got the answer. Well, I know I got the answer. He does.
And thank you guys, everybody, for joining in. Again, remember, there is a blessing in every lesson. Your stories matter. The lessons, the experiences that you go through, that's what you leave behind. That becomes your legacy. That's what you leave for the world to grow from. So don't be afraid to share your stories. You know, we come here.
A plane. See, God is soaring over us. You see that? Another person.
I got you, devil.
Listen, another person taking off. Come on now.
The devil doing its thing, stirring the pot.
Listen, you heard me? That's God's pausing it to let us see that another person is taking off. Every time a plane goes over, that is somebody getting from one destination to another. So let the planes be the celebration of God saying it could be you.
So remember, you guys, there is a blessing in every lesson. It's up to you to find it. Your stories matter. Flip those switches. We love you. Thank you for tuning in. And Precious, my God, my soul sister, my soul doctor. Thank you. As always. I love you.
Pleasure.
See you guys tomorrow. Have a blessed Thursday.